You're gonna love this. I remember, I had this flashback this morning. I used to wear self-tanner on my face in my late teens, 17, 18 years of age, every time before I went out with the boys or before going out to party on weekends, because I was so desperately insecure about the way that I looked. So with that self-tanner, I thought I was doing myself a favor, I was looking better, looking healthier. And I remember people asking me, "What's that on your face?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Nothing. I just caught some rays of sunlight earlier today." Insecurity, brother. And now, looking back on those years, I can laugh about it, but it wasn't so fun back in those days. And I really have to say that martial arts, to a large degree, saved me. You see, 17, 18 years of age, I was the most confused, I was the most lost I'd ever been, and now 40 years on this planet. And I guess this is very common, but at 18, I started kickboxing. And then 1 year later, I started seriously training Muay Thai back in those days. And even just a couple months after starting Muay Thai practice, seriously training, 4, 5, 6 days of the week, I would already start competing. So then my life for the first time ever had direction, had some semblance of purpose. I wanted to be a professional fighter. Now that never manifested, but it was a blessing in many ways because I met a lot of good people and I had purpose and I turned my life around. Bottom line, I turned my life around. But this is not what this video is about. It's not me wearing self-tanner and walking around with this orange face. It's the fact that I was always insecure about my looks. As far back as I can remember, when I hit like 12, 13 years of age, my teenage years, I had these love handles, lower ab fat, and I was building breast tissue, I was developing titties. I looked like trash. I looked like utter trash. And yes, my diet back in those days was terrible. It was a carb, it was a sugar dominant diet. But I was never eating a lot. I can vividly remember friends and family members eating more than I did back then, but being a lot leaner than I was. And I can never wrap my head around that. Because even though I ate a bunch of trash, I never ate a lot, and I saw people, I admired people, and I envied them for eating a lot of food and being a lot leaner than I was. If you are in the same predicament currently, the solution is not to cut carbs. The solution is not to be more restrictive with your diet. The solution is not to keep pulling back food. The solution is to go the opposite route. Best I've ever looked in my life. To this day right now, this is what I currently look like, was on a high-calorie diet. Protein dominant, high-calorie diet. So instead of thinking you have to cut out this food, you have to cut out that, you have to eat less, be on a 1,800 calorie diet, 2,000 calorie diet, 1,600 calorie diet to finally get rid of the body fat, you're not gonna make it. You're gonna get smaller, weaker, and more pathetic looking. If you are skinny fat, the worst mistake you can make is to keep starving yourself. Flip the tables. Eat a protein dominant diet. Switch up your diet to a point where you're getting a lot of protein every single day. You're eating your eggs, your Greek yogurt, your beef, your chicken, your fish. You're eating fruits and vegetables, you're eating some grains, but you are not restricting the amount of food you eat. At this point in my life, I'm 40 years of age. I am eating a ridiculous amount of food. I mean, it's off the charts. It's off the charts. Frequently exceeding 5,000, 6,000 calories a day. Not every day. I can't handle that. My system can't handle that every day, but my system thrives on these high calorie spikes. So my default diet, as you guys know, is always intermittent fasting. 1, sometimes 2 meals a day, but I will frequently and regularly, every single week without fail, spike my calories. Eat multiple meals throughout the day until I'm fully satisfied. I never force feed, but my hunger is such, as a fat kid at heart, my hunger is such that I can easily put away 5,000 calories without batting an eye. Default diet is rock solid though. And this is what you have to set in place for yourself. A default program that ticks all the boxes, is high in protein, has you going through periods of low food intake, i.e. intermittent fasting, and the occasional prolonged fast. But make no mistake, is a diet, is a program that allows your body to recharge and refuel on a regular basis. You are not going to get rid of that skinny fat look in a state of deficit, in a state of chronic restriction. Get that into your head. High protein intake, high calorie default. Take your body through phases of deprivation and phases of complete compensation. If you always stay in that restricted state, you will always stay skinny fat. This is the number one biggest mistake. Cut out the restriction. Eat more of the right food and become physically active. Get after it in the gym, obviously. But none of that will mean anything if you keep throttling your metabolism. You will stay in that low testosterone state, in that compromised metabolic state, and you will never chisel out your physique. You will never reach a state, a place where you look, feel, and perform up to your potential. Stop trying to control every single element of your diet. This is such a huge mental problem that people have, thinking that their diets have to be controlled to the uttermost, when in reality, you just have to make sure that food choices are on point and that you're giving your body sufficient energy to function at its capacity. Yes, that means that you can go through short controlled periods of undereating, starvation, technically, but that you always return to a default, to a standard mode where you're eating the right foods in abundance for your body. Because only in a place of abundance will you build muscle, burn fat, look your best. So stop cutting calories. Stop cutting macros for the love of everything that is good. Start eating more protein and give your body as much food as it's asking you to give it. And then with all this energy that is now building up in your body, go for a run. Better yet, go do some push-ups, do some dips, pull-ups, squats in your neighborhood park, in your garage. At the gym, lift some weights if you're into that. Resistance training is absolutely critical if you want to chisel out this physique. No doubt about that. But you're gonna have a lot more energy, mental and physical, to go after the good things in life. This is exactly where you wanna be, and you will never reach that state on another diet, on another restrictive program. You have to allow your body to breathe. You have to fuel your metabolism as opposed to always choke holding it. Eat the right foods in abundance. Move your body, and you will see 2 months in, 3 months in, your body looks completely different. The muscles start pressing against the skin. That lower abdominal and the lower back fat, the love handles, will start shrinking. You will see cuts in your body that you've never seen before. And it's not because you're on another low-calorie diet, because you're now keto, or carnivore or some other nonsense. No, it's because you're respecting the rules of the game. Let's get it, brothers. Dope you down the hatch. Have a great day. God bless.